Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel. So, today I'm going to tell you all that Unit 2 of English, Pedagogy of English in first semester of BEd. So, here previously we had learned that English learning technology teaching, right? So, now we are also reading that only. What are the methods and approaches and techniques to reach that ELT? So the methods, coming to the methods, a systematic and structured way of teaching a language, right? And the next thing is based on the specific theories or philosophies. Example, grammar translation method, direct method, audio lingual method, and etc. What are the approaches? Means a broader perspective that guides the selection of methods and techniques, focuses on the learning process and learners needs. For example, communicative approach, humanistic approach, cognitive approach. And the techniques, coming to the techniques, a specific activity or the exercise used to achieve a learning objective. It can be used in a various methods and approaches. So for example, role play, groups and discussion and vocabulary drills. So now you can understand all these means. So techniques, approaches and methods. The methods like a theories. Approaches means what are the approach, how can they approach to learn this. Techniques means what are the techniques they have used to learn the English. So effective language teaching involves that the selecting appropriate methods, approaches and techniques, adapting them to learn the needs and context, learners needs and context, integrating technology and resources, encouraging the learner autonomy and engagement, the continuously assessing and evaluating teaching effectiveness. Right? So coming to the next thing is some popular methods and approaches: task-based learning, content and language integrated learning, and flipped classroom and blended learning, and project-based learning. So teachers should be flexible and eclectic in their approach, combining the different methods and techniques to create the effective and engaging the language learning experience. So coming to the next topic, that is methods of teaching English. So we have learned that previously that the methods part, right? So that is a grammar translation method. So it is nothing but only it concentrate on the grammar rules, vocabulary and translation, right? So mainly on the grammar, it emphasizes the reading and writing skills, use the mother tongue to explain the English grammar, encourages the literal translation, right? So coming to the direct method, so it emphasizes on the spoken language and direct communication, and it is mainly focused on the spoken language and direct communication, uses the real life situations and visual aids, encourages the self expression and spontaneous language uses, the minimizes the mother tongue use. Here the mother tongue usage is less. So the bilingual method, coming to the bilingual method, which is use both mother tongue and the English language. So it emphasizes the languages comparison and contrast. It encourages the translation and interpretation. It develops the linguistic awareness. So the Dr. West method, which is a very important method in this, you can need to read in, write in a detail. So I have gist of the method. Dr. West method is it mainly focuses on the language learning through the reading. So uses graded readers and vocabulary controls, emphasis the comprehension of and the vocabulary acquisition, encourages of the extensive reading. So these methods have evolved over time, and the modern languages teaching approaches often blend elements from the multiple methods to create a more comprehensive and effective teaching approach. So coming to the third topic, that is nothing but the oral, situational and structured approaches are three methods used in the language teaching. Oral approach, how the oral approach method is used in the language teaching. So oral means nothing but the speaking language, right? That means it mainly focuses on the spoken language and pronunciation. It emphasizes on the communication and dialogue. Use the authentic materials and situations. It encourages the spontaneous languages use. Teachers act as a facilitator or a conversational partner. Next thing is the situational approach. Situational means nothing but the real life situations, right? It emphasizes on the functional language uses, and it uses the situational dialogue and role plays. That means real life situations they are facing. Situation approach in the keyword also a keyword only. It's mainly telling, right? Encourages the languages and use in the context. Teacher act as a guide or a director. The next thing is structural approach. Previously we learned situational approach, now structural approach. Structural approach, in that structure, so the language structure and the grammar rules. So they emphasize the language from the accuracy, uses the drills, exercise and the grammar explanation. It encourages the language practice and the reinforcement, and the teacher acts as the authority figure or experts. So to conclude, this approach can be used separately or combined to create the effective language teaching methodology. So some of the key points are oral means nothing but the communication, spontaneity, authentic materials. Situation means the functional language, real life situation, role plays, etc. So the structural means grammar rules, language form, drills, exercise. So effective language learning teaching often combines that the elements of the multiple approaches to meet the needs of the learners and the goals of the lesson. So the next topic is communicative language teaching, CLT. The definition is following that an approach to language teaching that emphasizes authentic communication and the learner interaction. Authentic communication and learner interaction. So the focus on developing the learner's ability to use the language in real life situations only. The main three principles are communication. It encourages the learners to engage in meaningful interactions. The authenticity is nothing but the real time material, real life materials and situations to teach the language. Learner centered, mainly focus on the learners, whoever is learning the language, interest based on the interest and experience. Interaction, it encourages the peer to peer and teacher and learner interaction, everything. And fluency, so prioritize fluency over accuracy in language production. Functionality, teach the language functions such as requesting, apologizing and negotiating and thank giving and everything. Task based, use the task based that require learners to use the language to achieve a goal. What are the techniques? Like previously, we have learned that the role plays, group discussion, information gap activities, problem solving, authentic materials, and pair and group work, and fluency and exercise, everything. So coming to the benefits of the teaching English is improve the communication skills, increase the learner engagement and motivation, enhance the language fluency and accuracy, develop the learner autonomy and self-expression, and better preparation for the real life language use. So to conclude this by adopting CLT, so the teachers create a student centered and interactive learning environment that simulate that the real life communication, preparing the learners for the effective language use in the practical situations. So the next fifth topic is micro skills in teaching, ELT. Micro skills is a specific concrete skills that the teachers use in the classroom to facilitate the learning. So some examples like setting instructions. So the teachers must need the instructions like giving a clear, concise instructions to the students, managing the classroom dynamics, like organizing and controlling the student interactions, asking questions like whether they are in actively participating or not by the you can check by the understanding or not questions, providing the feedback, giving instructions, feedback on student performance, clarifying the language. So whatever the language, it explains clearly and explaining it clearly, clarifying the language points and vocabulary. And the English language, conduct encouraging the student to produce the language and correcting the errors. So identifying and correcting the students' errors, whatever they have made by throughout the speaking English, and facilitating the discussion, encouraging the student participation in discussions. So using the visual aids like methods and so to support it, right? And then using the visual aids, effectively using the visual material and support teaching, and managing the classroom resources, using the resources such as the textbook, technology, and materials effectively, encouraging learner autonomy, promoting the students' independence and self directed learning, providing scaffolding. That means supporting the students as they learn new language and skills. So, these micro skills are essential for the effective teaching, effective developed can be developed through the practice and reflection and training. By mastering these micro skills, teachers can create and supportive and engaging learning and environment student. And thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.